Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry upper deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, the Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Good afternoon, mmjhl fans, and welcome to this edition of Manitoba Major Junior Hockey League Game Day, as we got a great one on tap. The St. Boniface Riels playing host to the St. James Junior Canucks. I'm your host for this pregame show, Graham, the gshow Forsyth, as well as your play-by-play commentator for this afternoon's matchup. This matchup brought to you by McCann Fasteners and Tools, Terrico Goaltenders, and as you saw by our commercial, and you see right now in the top right-hand screen, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. The way the week has gone so far, a 5-0 win for the Fort Garry Twins to open up their week 1-0. They're back in action tonight against the Charleswood Hawks. Charleswood looking to rebound after a 7-2 loss against the St. James Junior Canucks on Friday night. St. James, of course, in action to take on the Riels this afternoon. For this game, you're about to see the Raiders continue to lose, as they're going to get a day off here today. But yeah, now 6 in a row for them. And River East with a big 7-0 win over the Pembina Valley Twisters. As for the standings, how it looks heading into today's matchup, St. James looking to add to their point total. St. Boniface looking to try to get further up in the standings with a win here this afternoon. As for the goal leaders and the assist leaders, we're going to get a look at one of them today in Rory Neal in the league, who has 19. He's also top 5 in points now. And speaking of Rory Neal, wins Defenseman of the Month for November, winner of that award back in October. As for the keys to the game, however, for both teams, the Canucks, huge bounce back on Friday after losing last week. 7-2 win, of course, on Friday night. Getting a bump up in the standings as the season has gone along, and truly getting settled in as they started off 0-3. Now they're 8-9-2. Huge part of that has been their big guns stepping up, most notably Rory Neal, as the season's gone on. For the Riels, coming off of an emotional 5-3 loss on Friday against the league-leading Transcone Railer Express. As, St. Boniface lost their cool in that third period. There was some frustration from their bench towards the referees and their players towards the referees on some calls they thought were missed, but it's about taking a deep breath, knowing that you can only control what you can control, and I think looking to lock down their own zone here today. They've been one of the best all season in doing so and keeping shots down against their opponents, but we saw some cracks in the D zone last time out, and if this Canucks team has done anything consistently this year, it's been being opportunistic and capitalizing on their chances if you give them that as the season has gone along. Can St. Boniface get back to, playing their elite level of play that we've seen at points this season? Will it be St. James that comes into here and spoils the party to put the Riels at 0-2 on the weekend? We'll find out here next. National Anthems coming up here, as we hope you enjoyed the MMJHL game day pregame show here on G Show Productions, your home for mmjhl hockey. Well, these two teams renewing this rivalry this season, going into their third matchup of the year against each other, as the first time they met this season was back on September 29th, where the Riels took it 3-0, a game that was broadcasted here on the network. The most recent game on November 8th was also not broadcasted here on the network. Actually, it was played in St. James's home at Ab McDonald Arena, where St. Boniface took home a 5-2 win in that one. Do they go 3-0 on the head-to-head season series here this afternoon, or will it be the St. James Junior Canucks who end off their weekend with a second straight win? We're underway here from Southdale Arena as the puck is dropped, and inside, Romanek stripped along the boards of the puck there by number 2 and Evan Lambert. Rookie defenseman for the St. Boniface Riels have been impressive this year. This player's been impressive as well. Reeves Sukat making his move to the net. His shot turned aside there. Rebound turned aside again on the doorstep by Connor Murphy, who gets the start this afternoon. So we bring goaltenders onto the screen for that. 4-hour starting goaltenders. Michael O'Sullivan getting the start in the pipes for the St. Boniface Riels, and Connor Murphy for the St. James Junior Canucks. Both wear number 31. As goaltenders, your goalie's personal video review service. Check out their website at gordytomlinsongoalies.ca for more information. Whacking at each other at the draw. Two players, a Riel and a Canuck. One by the Riels and played back to Kalen Reyes, who stretches a pass up, but off the stick that goes Dubois. As down low, given chase. Werfield able to force a turnover. No one there on the backdoor pass. That shot through, and save made by number 31 and O'Sullivan to get a stoppage here. With still not even a minute played in this one. Shots on goal for both teams early on here. For the St. Boniface Riels, of course, looking for a much better start in this game on the scoreboard compared to what they had Friday, where they were behind the 8-ball from the very start against the Transcona Railer Express, where Transcona had a 2-0 lead. St. Boniface, though, was able to come back and score 3 unanswered, but Transcona would find another gear, score 3 unanswered themselves to win the game 5-3. As for the St. James Junior Canucks, as they look to defend here, Brzezinski, his shot turned aside by Murphy. He gets played up the boards, out now into the middle for this Canucks team, picked off by Brzezinski quickly, though, as Brzezinski, with players draped all over him, trying to stay strong on this delayed offside on the play, as all he can do is send it in deep and goes off for a change. Sent all the way in past O'Sullivan to DeGagne, plays it to Griffin Heights, second on this Canucks team in goals, looking for an assist there, but in front of the net, loose puck still finally covered up by O'Sullivan. As Height connecting with number 10 there in DeGagne. Yeah, back to what we were trying to talk about with the St. James Junior Canucks squad, a team that, coming off of a big 7-2 win against the Hawks, you're looking to, of course, accumulate more and more points as the season goes along, especially for themselves here early on. Like to make a habit of getting more points consistently as the start, not what they've had in the past number of years, as they started off this season 0-3, now up to an 8-9-2 record. As the Canucks do control in their own end, that's Phillips, who ends up getting it onto the stick of Rory Neal, who almost loses his balance but stays on his skates. That shot unable to go through. Is being pressured in the corner now. Nicholas Miller turned over in the slot there to the point now, can't get through. On net, however, is Georgie. Gets that down low, turned over onto the stick of Bucknet, who plays it up the right side. What a chance there early on for this Canucks team as that's sticked away. Nice one by number 16 in Thorstensen. Thorstensen, his active stick, good enough to force that puck to the net, and who's there to cover it up? None other than number 31 and Michael O'Sullivan. As this first period of action rolls on, the Canucks with the most dangerous looking chance in this game so far. Good on the forecheck. This draw one. Brooks gets it to the point towards the front of the net. Loose puck in the feet of some Riels, and they able to get possession but not able to get it out. Bounces just wide of the net, deflecting off of a body. Georgie unable to complete the check there on Reeves Sukit. As the Riels, able to pick this one up. It's on the stick of McNaughton, drops it. Now trying to go backdoor to Reeves Sukit was Van Dynes. Ends up on net and covered up by Connor Murphy. So we got a stoppage in play here with 16:52 remaining. Shots even and the score even still. Comment down below, by the way. I know you may not have the rosters in front of you. You may have to look it up, but yeah, there's no prizes to this, but interested to see who thinks it's going to open up the scoring in this game, as well as which team, of course, does open up the scoring. Leave a comment in the live chat, by the way. Thank you for tuning in if you are here on this Sunday afternoon. This turned over. Romanek made out of the goal, going to the net, taken down. No call on the play as into the neutral zone. And now carried in by this Riel squad. So out of the net it goes. Now up to the half wall. Now down low. Trying to get it back to Reeves Sukit. But McNaughton couldn't. Gets it to the point for Noah Keating. Back to number 21 in McNaughton, but had that sticked away, and it's sent out of the zone now. Now trying to dangle for Peterson, but can't get through the body of Kalen Reyes. Is number 44. Strong on his feet. That flipped in now. Opposite side to Cockrell. Even Cockrell puts the brakes on, spins around. Tries going cross ice with the feed, but couldn't get it through. Gets it back, feeds it up to Reyes. Down low to Van Dynes. Van Dynes to the opposite point. That shot turned aside. Hepner is the one who unloaded. But Connor Murphy was up to the task there. Connor Murphy, of course, a backup on last year's Canucks squad, and was asked to play his share of games throughout the season. Now gets the number one role, and so far this season, of course, there's been some bumps in the road, but has showcased the ability to steal games. He'll be looking to do that again here today. Through a screen, but not able to get past that stick cleanly, was that shot from Avon Cockrell, and with that, we get another whistle and a stoppage in play. On this Sunday afternoon on MMJHL Game Day, on your home of MMJHL hockey here on G-Show Productions. Carson Dubois in to take the draw for this Riel squad. Wins it strongly on the forehand to Bachnet. Now gets this to Avon Cockrell. Cockrell decides to just send this all the way down low as it rims to Dubois. That to Cockrell. Backdoor. Unable to connect there. This Riel's team after forcing that turnover. Here's another forced turnover. Davis now he unloads that shot, but the captain Connor couldn't get it through. Now passed up to Height, trying to break through some checking from this Riel's team. Drops it back to Warfield, whose shot goes wide of the net. Played off the backboards by Connor Davis as the Riels gain control again into the skates of a Canucks player. Bachna gets it back, now feeds it over to Dubois. Dubois dangling and rebound there. Oh, stretching out to make the save. Murphy somehow keeping this one out. This one still scoreless. This Riels team taking it hard to the net here early on. What we've been accustomed to seeing from them on their rush chances. Always looking to make passing plays. As this, Warfield shoots through a screen, but wide of the net for this Canucks team. There to meet it at the point. Griffin height, but unable to get that past the body as Trott, as an 8 for the Riels, blocks it up. He has that stripped away, though, at the blue line. It's picked up, though, by Wardowich, who misses Trott on the boards with that pass. Down low, picked up by Wardowich now for this Riels team. Circling up high, that shot, oh, nabbed down by the glove. Flashing the leather is Connor Murphy to keep this a 0-0 game still. 6 shot on net so far this afternoon for this Riels squad. It's a straw won by the Canucks across to Phillips, who pokes it up with one hand. Canucks trying to get this puck out now along the boards. Finally does squirt out. But turned over into the Riels possession in their own end. Evan Lambert goes D-to-D with Noah Keating. As Keating just past the red line, sends this in to negate any possibility of an icing. But it's the Canucks who able to get this out right away back in, though, or the Riels sent towards the slot, but covered up well there by Hyde, able to feed it through the middle to McLean. But it goes off a 24 stick. D-to-D now the Canucks go, looking to set something up off the boards. It goes to Gagne, who gets taken out hard there by a Riels player on the hit. Welcome to the game for number 10. Nice to have you here, Mr. Gagne. As trying to dangle through, trying to make some moves there. Number 12 in Jordanson. This time along the boards now in his own end. Plays it along the boards to a teammate as this gets played all the way out. Not out of play as this stays in. As Hepner able to stretch this up into the neutral zone. Sent in deep by this Riels team. As the Canucks try to stretch this up the middle but can't. High up in their own end. Van Dynes sends this across. I believe that's Hepner who sends it in, skating to try to get this puck. Of course, Hepner, knowing all about this St. James Junior Canucks team. Been on Twisters teams that have, of course, made it to the finals. Last year's team against this squad in the Canucks. Now things changing here is, oh, what a change almost for the Riels, and the scoreboard there to make 1-0, but Murphy able to get across to stick out that pad to make the save. Now Van Dyne's trying to send this back door, but missing everybody. Not sure he really had anyone open at that back door. As this gets chipped all the way into the Riels end. Kalen Reyes to an open man D-to-D as Hepner kicks it up to himself after receiving that pass off the boards. Now Sukit Reeve Sukit, as I should say. Full to almost get that puck down low, but not quite, as now it's the Canucks who send it out off of the stick and all the way down to the Riels end for an icing. With just over halfway left in this period to be played, 11:05 on the clock. Yeah, Mike Hepner, of course, was on the Twister squad last year that went to the finals against the Canucks. Every game was close on that scoreboard in that final series, except for the final game where things really broke out for that Canucks squad to bring home a third straight championship. Winning it, I believe, 5-1 was the final score. But now, of course, like I said, things a bit different now for Hepner on a new team. The Canucks, not the dominant force to start off in this MMJHL season compared to the last few, as Connor Davis, look at the moves there from 96. The captain tries whipping this across into the slot, but it gets broken up, picked up by Avon Cockerell. As Avon Cockerell on the boards, battling with a Canucks player, I believe that's Arneson, and in the slot for Davis, but right into the breadbasket. That shot goes, stopped up by number 31, Connor Murphy. And one that 96 would have loved to have back, I'm sure. He'll remain out there with Carson Dubois as well as Avon Cockerell. The line that new head coach for the Riels, and Paul Costas is liked very much so far. In these last few games, off the post, deflected. Loose puck couldn't be scooped up, as both teams kind of lost it there for a split sec. Avon Cockrell continuing down low. His body check along the boards all for naught as he lost a balance. Now a Riels player gets pinned along the boards, able to force a turnover. It's the Canucks. A little give and go, back kicking it out to the right side. Werfield sends this down low, able to get this now to the point, off of a turnover onto the stick of Rory Neal, who number 7 looking to dance and almost threads this cross ice to height for a one-time chance. That shot can't get through for number 13 as the Riels is able to survive that immediate pressure from this Canucks team for the time being. Immediately back in, it's Werfield who goes hunting on the forecheck. His body check giving a rub out there on Evan Lambert on the way pass. As Werfield able to get back on it. His pass towards the stick of Hyde, unable to connect though. As 13 gives chase on Brzezinski, but Brzezinski spins away. Brzezinski now stretches this. Cross ice all the way to the blue line for Trott, who loses a handle on it, trying to make a move to the middle. Back into the neutral zone, cut off there by number 18 and Noah Keating, who's being stick check for the time being there by McLean, but was able to get by him. The Riels send this one down low, deep behind the back pass, and Murphy ready there on that goal line to make the save in his crease. A really nice attempt there off that pass. If that was Brzezinski who ends up feeding his man, number 17 in Wojtowicz, or it might have been Wojtowicz to Brzezinski. Either way, 11th shot of the game for the Riels. They're buzzing around the net, but can't get the necessary bounces or that quality shot to beat number 31 in Murphy so far. Down low, they look to work this puck back into their possession to themselves, but can't. The Canucks along the boards, though, having some trouble with it. This gets sent down low and rimmed opposite way. Played up to Henderson onto the stick of Hyde, who sends it out of play. Trying to just clear it out. As both teams getting, or actually just the Canucks getting fresh forwards on for the Riels. They decide to get their D changed up as their forwards stay on. That backhand shot from Crossland, way wide of the net, ends up into the corner, but played up to the point. That tipped, just wide off of the Kalen Reyes shot. Now picked up by the Canucks. Sending this in and floated on net. O'Sullivan couldn't cover it cleanly, however, as this gets rimmed up the boards. Off of the skates, this goes out, off of Crossland. Titterson backs up into his own end, and now tries to stretch this up. No icing on the play as that missed his teammate, who was covered well by a Riels player. Now Brooks tried to cut off that pass out, but couldn't. Now picked up in the neutral zone. Working his way in. That shot turned aside. Can't get through a block. Salamanca, as I should say, is this. Unable to do anything for the Canucks. Stretched over to Trott, who has a man going to the net. Can't get that shot or pass to the net. However, it's picked up. Brzezinski now cuts back into his skates, kicks it up to himself, and passes to the point. Sent towards the side of the net where Wojtowicz was there, but the puck got over his stick. Now settled down by Kalen Reyes into his own end. Feeds it up the right side. Nice pass through by Trott to Wojtowicz. Tries sending it on net himself, but couldn't get it there as he tries to spin away in the corner now. Is Trott down low. Trott trying to spin away from the check, and somehow dangles through in tight space. That throw just deflected over the net, as now it's Wojtowicz who's pinned up along the boards. This line for the Riels, they stayed on and they haven't come off since the last face-off, and it's been working out for this squad right now, as that unable to get through towards the front of the net. Now finally picked off by this Canucks team and skated in. Jansen, Romanek trying to dangle his way through, but unable to get through the skates there of Bachnet. Now Romanek trying to dangle up the boards, but Bachnet not having any of it as he stands up to number 11. Giving him some physicality. Now the two continue to battle along the boards. Bachnet able to get that up loose. to Reeves Sukkot. As Sukkot tries playing it back into the middle for Bucknet, who was trying to activate up into the play. Backhanded to Evan Lambert now. As Evan Lambert looking up ice, almost turns this over onto the stick of Romanek. I believe the last time we had a game here, he won player of the game, from what we called on G-Show Productions here. Speaking of, we always present players of the game for both sides, win or lose, in our post-game. Join us then as backdoor, that unable to connect with Romanek. Height trying to feed him as Romanek gives a little shot two-hander to Lambert on the way back as it's Reeves Sukkot plays backdoor but unable to connect with that pass. It's Murphy aggressive, come across to attempt to make that stop. Now that goes off of a stick before getting up to the point again. Evan Lambert skating in. Oh, backhand to Drake Beauty, but the shot, a field goal instead of under the bar. With 5:24 remaining. You know, this one kind of going how I expected to go in a way to start off. The Riels with most of the zone time, but the Canucks surviving just enough in their own end and coming down on the rush and looking dangerous on their opportunities. Like, if the Canucks can continue to settle into this game and continue to get stops and maybe start to frustrate this Riels team, maybe that's when... Oh, for the crossbar! Is this almost a 1-0 lead for the Riels? As that almost changing their fortunes here in this game. Kicked up, but an offside. Carrying it in was Rylan Kuksak. Yeah, for this Canucks team, like, they're surviving again in the defensive zone. If you're able to come in and actually establish the zone a bit and, you know, create opportunity and get shots on net, could end up being dangerous for the Riels in this game and beneficial for the Canucks if they end up capitalizing, right? Meaning that O'Sullivan just has to be that much more sharp on his opportunities. There, Davis, this time his shot turned away sharply by Murphy at the point. That shot, oh, losing sight of it, Murphy, as it goes off the backboard. It's picked up by Evan Cocker on the low slot, and oh, Murphy denies again with his 13th save of the game, this time on Carson Dubois in tight. Number 19 just can't elevate that puck high enough. So you got to think surely he'll get some sick taps from his teammates here on the way through. I guess not. I'd be tapping my goaltender's pads, you know, every single shift if I was them. And speaking of, almost another chance for this Riels team, but Murphy's played a huge part in keeping this score tied so far. Even though not every single one of the chances has been the best quality shot on net, still a lot of volume here for the Riels and a lot of control as played to the net. Cole Davis as it trickles through, but covered up again by Murphy. As this draw one by the Riels at the point. That blast rebound there. Murphy couldn't handle it cleanly. Another one save made by number 31 as picked up with speed by the St. James squad. DeGagne continuing down the right side, getting it down low. Protecting this on the forehand, shielding it from Mike Hepner as he tries to spin away from the check-in of number 4. This up to the point, getting through. Played across now. Salamacha, his shot. Oh, not through a screen, but picked up there. DeGagne unable to raise that well enough to get it past O'Sullivan as number 31 comes up with a huge kick save. Kalen Reyes fakes one way, goes the other down the left side. Backhand up the boards, just gets out. Georgie, his body check, not going to be penalized. Maybe thought there could have been some interference, but the refs just letting him play. Oh, nice dangle. Anderson, oh, backdoor pass. Can't connect off of a dangerous looking rush chance from this Canucks team. Now, oh, Anderson taking away that cross-ice pass that was intended for number 27 and Cockerell as this gets tipped in. Trying to close up the boards there for not to get past was Sarjansen. But it did indeed. Oh, here's a bad turnover now. Neal onto the stick of Dubois. Drop pass. Dangle. Oh, Murphy somehow, some way again keeps this out. Or maybe Davis didn't even get it on net. Circling up past that shot now. Another save by Connor Murphy. Now his 17th is in front. Both teams pushing away at each other, and almost disaster there for Rory Neal as he tries to play a short pass up to one of his teammates in the neutral zone. A good stick from Carson Dubois to create a turnover and come in hard on the rush. And once again, this Riels team getting numbers on rushes, completing their passes well, but just unable to get that final finish they want on the shot to get it past the goaltender as, oh no way, a bit of a blunder here from the referees as they thought, I think, this is going down for an icing. Ends up bouncing in or going into the glove. Number 31 in O'Sullivan. So with that, it's going to be the Riels who end up getting short end of the stick here. Face-off draw inside of their own end, but a nice job by their defensive zone face-off team to get it out. Turned over, though, and back into their zone. Now onto the stick of Trott again as he'll try this again. Coming down the right side, plays it to the middle onto Brzezinski's stick, who goes just wide of the net with that shot. Now stick explodes on number 39 and Nicholas Miller there. So Miller ends up going off for a change. Some unluckiness for him. Phillips up to number 14 in Thorsteinsson, who just chipped that in deep. Now this puck gets loose into the neutral zone for Reeve Sukut, who trying to maneuver down that right side but couldn't, taking a check with about 1:50 here remaining in this period. Is this now played into the skates of Romanek, turned over onto the stick of Brzezinski as his backhand pass across goes to Noah Keating as Keating skates up the left side. Now cut into the middle. Keating dangling through almost, but a whistle blown here on the play, which is an offside. The move maybe drawing everyone off on his squad, as it sets up a draw. McNaughton between Griffin Height as this draw won by the Riels. Played back to Lambert. Now passes up. McNaughton, takes a big hit there at the blue line from number 26, Salamacha. But looked like he was ready for it. Could have been bigger if he wasn't looking exactly. As we're coming up on the final minute of play here, as it's number 25, Given Chase and Kuksek for this Canucks team. Played onto the forehand of Lambert, who maneuvers this cross ice into the neutral zone for McNaughton. Played off the boards, but too far for Reeve Sukut. Is picked up by this Canucks squad, turned over onto the stick of Keaton, who gets that into the neutral zone. Loose puck gets past a Canucks player's stick. Now back onto that same player in Enerson, who stretches this cross ice. Just out of the reach for Warfield, though. Turned over into the Riels possession. Coming in, Wojtowicz, delay, stick handling quickly, slowly down low, or softly plays that puck down low, as I should say. A cycle back door, can't quite finish as it's fanned on by the stick of Wojtowicz, but picked up by this Riel squad again, turned over. Van Dynes tried locating one of his teammates there, and Buck couldn't. Turned over again, though. It's the Riels Bertschinger, leaves a draw pass. Reeves, his shot. Reeve Sukut, that is, turned aside by Murphy with 7 seconds left along the boards. As an 18-shot first period still has this Riels team in a scoreless tie with the Junior Canucks, as this one officially comes to an end here, as both teams will skate off and go off for a break during this intermission. A lot of back and forth, especially as this period came to an end. Both teams with dangerous-looking chances on both sides. Higher percentage for the Canucks, of course, since they have less in the shots. But so far, the story, I think, has been both Connor Murphy and this Riels team continuing to be a bit snake-bitten, right? As many shots as they have this season on average, as much as their goals for have gone up. I talk about this all the time, but it's a story I'm going to keep talking about until it sees some improvement. Shots in that period, I think more so this time around where Murphy was just standing on his head, but you got to find a way to maybe get a greasy one, a garbage goal in there to get the party started for yourself, and then maybe the goals start rolling, right? Who knows for this Riels team. I thought they were extremely dominant along the boards in their board battles, winning on the forecheck all period long against this Canucks team and hemming them in while tiring them out. But if this Canucks team can continue to withstand this Riels team, if Murphy can continue to play the way he is, with the way this team operates so far in this game, at least today, like to chip it in, get off the forecheck, and just chip it into the neutral zone and hunt down pucks. Does one of those opportunities start to go their way like we saw in this period, as there were many times where they looked very dangerous. We'll see if things start to open up more for this Canucks team into the Riels end in the next period of action. We're going to send to our promo screen, though, however, here on MMJHL Game Day for this first period, which sees a scoreless tie between the St. Boniface Riels, the home side, and the visitors, and the St. James Junior Canucks. You're watching MMJHL Hockey here on your home for hockey in Manitoba on G-Show Productions on gshow.ca. Your home as well for MMJHL Hockey all season long. Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry Upper Deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, the Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Welcome back to Southdale Arena, ladies and gentlemen, as it was a scoreless first period between the home side, the St. Boniface Riels, and the visiting St. James Junior Canucks. Shots 18-6 in favor of the Riels, but Connor Murphy was on top of his game, goaltender for the Canucks in that period, stopping all 18 that came his way. Michael O'Sullivan also sharp for the Riels as he stopped all 6 shots he faced. It was a clean period in the penalty area in that regard, as there were no penalties taken from either of these teams. Third matchup of the season between these two clubs, of course, this season. We'll get to the rest of the scores here. So there's only 2 games being played this afternoon. Transcona and Stonewall tied at 2 apiece, with just over halfway remaining in the second period. As for the standings implications for these matchups today in the mmjhl, St. Boniface looking to keep themselves separated by 2 points over top of the Stonewall Jets. St. James trying to close in on the teams in front of them. Transcona looking to extend their win total to 16, of course, to go 16, 1-3. And Stonewall looking, of course, for a 3rd straight victory. But as for this matchup here this afternoon, I mean, St. Boniface, some really nifty, strong passing plays. Strong on the forecheck as well to set up their chances during that first period of action. Thank you to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia for, of course, sponsoring this game, as well as our other sponsors in Make Cannon Fasteners and Tools, Terrico, and goaltenders. As we are underway here for the second period of action, what does it have in store here on mmjhl Game Day, live here on gshow Productions on gshow.ca. Phillips, his pass through the middle, unable to connect there. Number 25 in Kugzek, as controlled early on by this Riels team, played towards the close boards to us. Van Dyne's able to catch up to this puck now. Tries playing it down low, but it'll be intercepted by number 4 in Jacob Phillips, as Phillips plays it off the wall into the neutral zone. This gets down low into the Riels end. They whack away at this. Rory Neal activating up at the point to cut that off on the pinch. That pass out as this getting down low. As the Canucks try to maintain possession on this cycle on this forecheck, but can here early in this period as this goes off the glove of number 21 in Warfuel. And now back into the Canucks zone as Neal plays it off the boards but turned over as this cut off by number 18 in Keating. Keating goes for a skate, takes a spill, draws a penalty here on the play, and with that, a trip coming up to, I believe, number 7 in Rory Neal. Or no, it will be Arneson, actually, who goes as we got a face-off inside of the St. James Junior Canucks zone for this first power play of the game, as it is Neal who goes, not Arneson. That's what I thought as Neal was defending that on the rush on that chance, as this rimmed around almost. So it actually gets cut off down low. It goes to Van Dynes as the Riels start off on this power play. Brought to you by Terrico with possession Played off the boards down low and back onto the stick of Davis now, receiving that pass from Trott. Back down low to Trott now. Davis goes, but battling with Enerson. Enerson, his clear attempt up the boards. Can't get there past Davis. D to D, the Riels go now. As it's dropped back. Hepner, his shot through, but tipped wide of the net. Off of the stick of Van Dynes. Hepner gets to that wall now just to hold this puck in as it gets onto the stick of Cockrell. Down low to Trott and back up top. Near that half wall to Davis. Davis into the skates. That goes to Evan Cockrell as a missed pass forces turnover out of the zone. Thorstensen given chase but couldn't get there. Now pass back cross ice to Trott as Trott leaves a draw pass to Connor Davis. Davis now spinning along the half wall. Gets that to the point to Hepner. Now calling back for it as Davis, but that goes into his skates. Able to chip this down to Trott, however. Trott back up top to the point to Hepner. Hepner plays it across to Evan Cockrell. The control here from this Riels team at a high level. Can they complete the chance, though? They can't, as that missing the stick entirely. Connor Davis. Everything looking good, but the finish so far here for this Riels team, as has been the story throughout this game, squeezing that puck into his padding. Number 31, and Murphy to make the save for this Canucks squad. With that, gets another face-off inside of the Canucks zone. Beautiful control from this Riels team. Quick passes, high-quality passes. The finish, not as high quality so far. Bachneck to Evan Lambert, looking to shoot, but circles back. Didn't have the lane to do so. Now down low, looking for a tic-tac-toe. That off of the stick of Lambert, backdoor. Now 10 seconds left, a blast from the point, turned aside. Murphy off of that chance from Bachneck, as it'll be back to even strength here, 5-on-5. The Canucks able to survive on the PK for now. Dubois plays a pass over to Reeves Sukat as Sukat spins away from the check-in down low. Titterson, his pass not hard out enough along the boards as this gets cross past ice. Dragging out Lambert, trying to shoot, but Jourdry getting the stick on it. Oh, somehow Lambert got it back and went off the crossbar this time around, as it's controlled by McNaughton in the slot. On these chances as the Riels in tight. That shot turned aside by Murphy again. Now off of the stick of Dubois. Dubois in the corner along with McNaughton. 3 Canucks there as they get this out, as it's passed up to Romanek. Trying to catch this Riels team maybe behind the play, but not much of a numbers advantage for the Canucks there. On the break-in chance attempt is Brzezinski now breaking in, cuts to the middle, now tries to cut back. He does just that. His shot deflects off of the stick and out of play, though, as he tried to get it on net. 15:48 left on this second period clock. This Riels team, especially after that power play, or during that power play where it really started in this period, controlling that puck at a high level. Some nice passing plays once again to set things up, and even getting closer and closer to the net on their chances, but Murphy's still up to the task and up to high level here so far. Here's a shot turned aside. O'Sullivan's first save of the period, his first shot that he's faced, as Romanek tried to get it into the middle, finding a teammate but can't. Here's Brzezinski. Oh, nice angle. Makes a man miss on the play. That shot, oh, backdoor. Unable to go for this Riels team, as Brzezinski breaking the ankles all for naught of that Canucks defenseman. The way through, we've seen him try to pull off that move numerous times here already on the network. Finally did. It was a nice pass across, but couldn't find a teammate. Did find a teammate, but still unable to capitalize on the chance. Romanek, his shot wide of the net now. It's held in strongly at the blue line by Rory Neal. Gets it back down low to Romanek. Romanek shot from sharp angle, very corner. Glove down by O'Sullivan, as that also counts as a shot. 8th of the game for this Canucks team. It'll be Griffin Height to take the draw for the Canucks. Wheeling by, squeezing by, as I should say, Jourdry. His shot gets turned aside. Just there by the left shoulder of O'Sullivan. Now picked up. The Riels go D to D to Hepner as Hepner goes back to Kalen Reyes as Reyes spins away from the check-in there of number 25 in jewelry and able to thread a pass up cross ice at the blue line to Cole Davis. Davis drops this. This shot unable to get through, however, as it's blocked off of the stick of Birchinger. Birchinger gets this puck back, though. His shot now unloads, turned aside by Murphy. Rebound there, banging away at it. The Riels ends up behind the net. So the Riels trying to whack away at it still. It's picked up by the Canucks and skated out number 6 in Enerson, who about to get cut off at the blue line there from Kalen Reyes. Gives a bump to him down low. Dumped it in to get there. Oh, in front of the net. Griffin Hyde unable to put away that chance. As ends up all the way down into the Canucks zone. No icing on the play as this waved off and turned over onto the stick of Birchinger along the boards. Battling with Degagne, and Degagne able to muscle him off of this puck and skate up through the neutral zone. Degagne, short pass towards the middle, intended for one of his teammates, not sure who. It would be turned over. Turnover forced. The Riels with numbers. That shot, rebound, scores! And the Riels must be thinking it's about darn time, as it took a 3-on-1 and not even scoring off of that 3-on-1 initially, but them getting their rebound afterwards to break this tie. And that's exactly what they needed in this game, in my opinion, to potentially get things rolling, right? It starts off with a nice pass and play like we see. They're unable to finish on it initially, like I just said, but continuing hard to the net, continuing to whack away at it, finally getting rewarded. A relief lifted off, or stress lifted off the Riels shoulders. For sure with that goal, brought to you by gshow.ca. Terrico serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry, but for Connor Murphy, he did all he could to keep that out, but when you got players whacking away at it like the Riels had there, and overloading the front of the net, tough to keep it out. She stopped 1, 2, but not the third chance. It's a huge hit there along the Canucks boards. Their benches, I should say. As they try to create some energy for themselves here. Chipped in by this Riels squad. 12:24 remaining. They got the 1-0 lead off of the goal from, I believe it was Avon Cockerell. Just by the way, as that goes down for an icing, right now the Transcon Railer Express up 4-3 on the Stonewall Jets with 9:49 remaining. Railer Express looking for their 8th win in a row, outshooting them 34-26. 27-8 the shots in favor of the Riels. They were finally rewarded after all those shots for only their first goal of the game moments ago. This played up to the point, unloading now. Nice block though by Jourdry to get in the shooting lane for this Canucks squad. Along the boards, unable to get it out though. This Canucks team has to look for another way to exit out now. Played up to Brooks, just gets this out, but intercepted right away by Brzezinski. Played up, quick pass towards the middle. Now trying to get a stick on it to get it back are the Riels. Now getting it back, Brzezinski, his shot just wide of the net. As in tight now, the Riels try to play this to get around, but they can as it gets out of the offensive zone for the time being. Sent in by Noah Keating as D-to-D. The Canucks do. And that passed up to Romanuk, but unable to find his stick off of that stretch pass attempt from Rory Neal. Sent all the way in, no icing on the play, giving chase Sukat Reeve, or Reeve Sukat as I should say. As this puck will stay inside of the Canucks zone coming up. Most of this game's been played. As Arneson will be the one to take the draw for the Canucks and wins it. Along the wall to number 5 in Wilson as Wilson bangs away at it. Now picked up by Arneson, who gets it over to Thorsteinsson. Goes off the glove now of Thorsteinsson as he disrupts this puck through the neutral zone. Through mid-airs, I should say. Sent all the way around. The Riels trying to get on this hard. Puck squirts into the neutral zone, though. Picked up by Arneson, trying to drag through as Arneson putting on the move. Still continuing loose puck there in the skates. Some Riels players. So Riel gets caught losing an edge in the neutral zone there. As they break their way in, the Canucks looking to defend that chance now. Coming down the other way. Arneson plays it off the boards. Takes some physicality down low as it was Reeves Sukut who laid a hit on him. Reeves Sukut now laying a bit of a bump on Ashton Romanuk before getting this loose puck out. Tried playing it to a teammate down low there, number 21 in McNaughton, but couldn't get it to tie. As glove down by Brady Thorsteinsson, plays this on net before going off for a change. Stretched up to the blue line. Van Dynes, goes off of his skate, allows for Titterson to catch up to it. Now Titterson loses body positioning on Van Dynes. Gets it up to the point. Tip, scores! Number 55 and Jonah Crossland, a bit forgotten about as he goes hard to the net there to get a stick on that shot from a point man for the Riels. And great vision from the Riels to see it. An accurate shot there to a stick for it to deflect. And just the Canucks losing sight of that man who was Crossland heading to the net. Him getting positioned behind. And those backdoor chances, almost impossible for goaltenders to stop, really. Especially when it's connected on. Something the Riels have been trying to connect on all period long and all game long, and finally do. Is that goal brought to you by Terrico, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. As it's the Canucks down 2-0 here. Outplayed in this game, and it's showing on the scoreboard now. 9:35 remains. I think it's a huge thing now here for this Canucks team, right? It's about, they have gone on winning streaks this year, but you come off of beating a team that's been top 2 in this league for pretty much the whole year in the Charleswood Hawks. You win big on the road, and now you're in a game where it's a bit different, where the mood isn't the same, where you're not in control of the game, or, you're not getting the same amount of chances, right? And you're having to play catch-up now in a game where you haven't had much offensive zone time sustained. And looking for ways to get back into it. So that game was actually played at Ab McDonald Arena on Friday night. This loose puck gets a stop and play on the whistle. So Lee Carson Dubois in to take it for this Riels team against Griffin Height. As Height coming into this game with the second amount of goals, with 11 on this Canucks team, will be looking to be one of the players who sparks his team here in a potential comeback. Back up to the point. That shot through, but not through the stick of Salabacha. But turned over down low again, possessed by this Riels team. The forecheck heavy here this afternoon. Deflected almost to the net. As, Connor Davis tries to take out Warfield, but instead goes down to the ice himself. Kalen Reyes now dangling in, somehow able to maneuver through, but gets that shot wide of the net. As into the skates it went. Davis now taking a shot back at Warfield. As the refs letting these two players play now. No call on it, as both could have been easily interference. Murphy out of his own net, plays it up the boards to Warfield now, up to DeGagne. DeGagne in his skates, gets bodied down afterwards by Connor Davis. It's number 4, and Hepner ends up snapping his stick on that sequence. Played up now into the neutral zone, just getting past that broken stick of Hepner as Davis plays it to Cockerell. Cockerell passes over to Brzezinski, and Brzezinski turned away by Murphy. It's that 30th shot registered on net for this Riels team now. It's Connor Murphy having some discussions with one of the head refs. Face-off draw back inside again in the Riels zone. That shot, the Canucks zone, won by the Riels. This is Evan Lambert now, looking for options, found a man in Brzezinski, but his pass fanned on the way across. As Josh Gagne now sends this in deep, looking to continue on with the forecheck, getting to that puck first, and he did, trying to spin away from the check-in. Buck couldn't, held in at the line though by this Canucks squad still. Picked up by Noah Keating, who reverses this down low, dropping it behind his back. And getting the pass back now as he plays this into the neutral zone in the direction of a Riels player in trot, but nice job by Jacob Phillips to be strong on it. Neil with some magic over that pass to Gagne, unable to connect into the net for what would have been a goal to break the deadlock in this game. In their scoreboard for this Canucks squad. Played up to Romanek now. He can't get that past the skate of a Riels player as Phillips tries to send it up the boards to a teammate, can't connect as this goes into the roofing and out of play here. With 6:48 remaining in the second period of action. Shots 30-10 in favor of this St. Boniface Riels squad. They lead it by a score of 2-0. As we bring goaltenders onto the screen now, as well as we continue on with this one. Van Dyne's gained in the zone. Delays up high. Tries to send it down, but Titterson cut it off. Now to McNaught. And out in front! Van Dyne's on that tic-tac-toe. Couldn't finish off. It was a glorious chance in tight for this Riels squad. As this, all the way out and into the stands up here. It's Titterson, a bit too high up. Clear out. So that's happened a few times, as I've mentioned, I think yesterday on the broadcast in Stonewall for the MFHL game day. But it's nowhere near us where it landed. Luckily no one got hurt, and it didn't even hit anyone at that, so it's always a good sign. As Titterson takes a bump along the board area there by McNaught, and Arneson tries getting to Wilson, and Wilson, all he can do, play it up the boards. But that from Van Dyne's unable to get to the point as the Canucks able to pick it off. In those far boards from a broadcast angle. Loose puck now flipped up into the neutral zone from McNaught, and on the backhand sends this in deep. This is for Titterson, who tries to go up the wall. Gets there to Brady Thorsteinson, but off of Thorsteinson. Skates now, creates a chance for McNaught, who's turned aside by Connor Murphy. Now possessed by this Riels team. Quick pass up to McNaught, quicker pass kicked out wide. I believe Wojtowicz. Down low now, Cole Davis rims this around to Reeve Sukut. Sukut gets this back down low to Cole Davis, as Davis has that get past his skates now. Along the boards, cutting it off Bertschinger. As Bertschinger strong to win this puck here. As along the boards, he still works with it. Works it towards the slot, but intercepted, and short pass up to Titterson, who gets it to Arneson. Arneson now tries kicking it out to Romanek. That pass didn't go. On to number 11's Twig. With 5 minutes remaining here, it's the Riels who skate in. Crossland, most recent goal scorer, able to maneuver with speed down low, fending off some checking, but gets that pass into a difficult area for Bertschinger to do anything with it as he had it taken away. Now Enerson coming down opposite side, wheeling around the net with some speed in the Riels zone as this gets flipped into the neutral zone, trying to take it away with his stick. Cole Davis, but instead his body's no one into the boards. As this towards the front of the net, trying to get to it first in the Riels end, number 21. Might have been number 12, Char Jansen. So with 4 minutes remaining here in this period now, this is played up, bounced up to Connor Davis, looking for a draw pass, does just that to Bertschinger. As Bertschinger tries to play it in front of the net as it goes off the side of it into the glove of Connor Murphy. with 4:01 remaining in this period of action. So thank you to everyone tuning into this one here tonight, or this afternoon, as I should say. Been a lot of fun so far. Riels, another offensive zone face-off draw against Height. Height this time strong enough to win it to Phillips, who goes D to D with Rory Neal. Neal off the boards. That pass cut off by Connor Davis. The other captain in this game is Evan Lambert. Almost loses the puck, but keeps on with it. Whips it across to Connor Davis, but out of 96's reach. Now turned over onto the stick of Werfiel, who's able to get it to Neal. Touches this up to Griffin Height. Neal now to the middle to Neal scores! The transition game there from the Canucks benefiting them greatly, and look at, this is what separates a player like Neal from so many in this league, is instead of trying to cradle that loose puck in the neutral zone, right? He knows he has Griffin Height with him, so he wants to get it to him. What better way than redirecting it to him, deflecting it, some crafty little stick stills there, and he continues into a spot where he can receive a one-timer as they go tic-tac-toe, working it beautifully inside of the Riels end. As here come the Riels on that chance, coming down the other way, but wide of the net and out of play it goes. But Rory Neal, captain clutch right now for this Canucks team at this point in the game. Cutting the lead down to 1 here for this Riels squad, and that goal brought to you by Terrico. As this down low, Matthew Trott lost his balance. Now to the point, that shot wide of the net for this Riels squad. Along the boards, Wojtowicz tried to get it down low but couldn't. Turnover forced. Now up high, Brzezinski, short pass to Trott there. Brzezinski gets it back, turned aside by Murphy. As Brzezinski tries getting this to the point, it hops over the glove now of Nicholas Miller. As Miller gets this across to Brzezinski. Brzezinski tries to play this to the middle of Wojtowicz, but doesn't connect with him. It's controlled by Dylan Bachnet now, who goes up towards the blue line to Wojtowicz. Left to draw pass there for Reeve Suket. Reeve trying to go towards the front of the net. So I mispronounced his name again. Here's Suket once again as Reeve, his shot turned aside there by Murphy. It's played up Titterson into the skates of McLean, and all the way down for an icing here. As it comes with 2:09 remaining here, 36-11, the shots in favor of the Riels. Quite the response after that Rory Neal goal. Coming right back in, and not sitting back. As draw one by number 16 in Trent Thorsteinson, sits one to Titterson. Titterson off of the stick of McNaughton and into the Riels bench that goes. So we got another face-off draw coming inside the Canucks zone here. Offensive zone face-off draw for the Riels coming up as Arneson against McNaughton, as McNaughton looked a bit early on the draw there, but refs let it go. Didn't win it anyways, however. But gets it right back in the high slot. Tries getting it to Van Dynes. Van Dynes able to pick up that puck and get up top to Reyes, who got it to Hepner. His blast wide of the net, back onto Reyes' stick. As Reyes into the low slot for McNaughton, a bit too much into his skates though, as he plays it up to the points. Reeve Suket putting on the moves before passing it off to Hepner. Hepner unable to get that through. It's picked up by Suket again, but takes a spill into the boards as he lost his balance off of a check. Now picked up by Suket again. Now he unloads his shot, turned aside, this time by Murphy. So with a minute 18 remaining. In the second period of action. 37th shot of the night for this Riels squad. They still only lead by 1, however. As draw 1 by the Riels. Rebound there, poking away at it. Crossland, but unable to get there. The best position to whack away at it. So the stick was a bit preoccupied. Now it's the Canucks who hold it in. Passed over onto the stick of Kuksak. Trying to go backdoor for height, but would have been tough for him anyways, as that was to his backhand. Now skated up, kick to the right side, over to Crossland off of the pass from Bertschinger, as we're into the final minutes of play here for this second period. As Height regains possession of this puck, tries to backhand this on net, but goes off the backboards. This will draw a penalty coming up for this Canucks team late in this period with 34.6 remaining. So it'll be a Riels penalty kill coming up, brought to you by Goaltenders, your goalie's personal video review service. Kalen Reyes getting his stick caught in the feet. The Canucks player there, as it'll be the Canucks power play, which so far this season ranked second in the league at 21.3. Saw how good this Riels penalty kill was on Friday night, though. As they get this all the way down, they'll be looking to bring their best against a very dangerous Canucks unit here, as Rory Neal, with 18 seconds remaining, leaves this for Jacob Phillips, as Phillips trying to skate away from Carson Dubois, but stick checked all the way through the neutral zone. Now picked up by Hyatt, whose pass a bit sloppy on the way through, as that's through the skates of Neal. And with that, the Riels just holding on to this puck behind their own net. They skate out of this period with a 2-1 lead. It was scoreless coming in, of course. We'll get you the goal scores from that period. Coming up, as it was Avon Cockerell banging away at a rebound, and Jonah Crossland redirecting a backdoor attempt into the net. But it'll be Griffin Height and company, one of those members being Rory Neal, coming down with him after the two separated after being close to each other, breaking in that neutral zone. Neal spreads himself out in a perfect spot to take a one-timer chance, which he receives that puck and puts it up under the bar past an outstretched Michael O'Sullivan. Shots 38-11 in favor of the Riels. They continue to pile it on with, let's see, I think 20 shots in that period. Only to the 5 of the St. James Junior Canucks. But the Canucks continue to survive for now. They'll be on the penalty kill to start off the next 20 minutes to play. The final 20 minutes of regulation here on this Sunday afternoon on mmjhl game day. We may be forced to switch our camera angle here, folks, in terms of where it's positioned, with it closer to the side of the ice where the Riels benches, which is unfortunate. You may be having a bit of trouble seeing the play in one end of the ice, which we'll do our best to describe it here coming up in the final 20 minutes of play on mmjhl game day here on G-Show Productions on gshow.ca, presented by McKenna Fasteners and Tools, Terra Coke, and Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, and Goaltenders. Riels lead 2-1 with 20 miles of regulation to go. Well, knock on wood, but it seems like the iPad should be okay, and that means we shouldn't have to change our camera angle. As we're back here into the Southdale Community Center for this afternoon mmjhl contest that is going to see its final 20 minutes of regulation being played here soon. With the home side, the St. Boniface Riels up 2-1. Looking to get back in the win column after a 5-3 loss to the Railer Express on Friday night here at Southdale. They're on a current penalty as it was Kalen Riels who took a tripping penalty within the last 34 seconds of that period. The scoring was Avon Cockrell, who opened up the scoring with the 7th of the season, assisted by Carson Dubois and Connor Davis, 6:49 into the period. Jonah Crossland scored his 4th of the season, assisted by Dylan Bachnack and Alex Van Dynes, about just over halfway over into the period. It would be Rory Neal, team captain for the St. James Junior Canucks, who would score his 13th of the year on a one-timer feed from Rylan Kugzek, set up by Griffin Height. 16:30 into the period. So in the later stages of it, which was huge for the captain to get his team back onto the board for the first time here this afternoon. As we're underway with this Canucks team on the power play, brought to you by Make Cannon Fasteners and Tools. As down 2-1 so far right now to start off this third period of action. This will be sent out by this Riels squad, who very good on the penalty kill so far this season, I'd say. Number 1 coming into tonight on the penalty kill in the league. As they sit at 87.1%. See what this Canucks team can do in the final 30 seconds of this one approaching here, as they haven't been able to get much going at all, having trouble establishing that zone and keeping possession, as Rory Neal passes to Griffin Height. Back it goes to Phillips, who takes it around his own net. Cut off there by Connor Davis, however. Passed it back to Height, now up to Phillips, who just passed the red line, sends it in deep, hard in for Arneson, who gets there first. Arneson now has that sticked away by Lambert, allows for this Riels team to get it out, deflected off of stick. Good hand-eye there from Connor Davis, as we're back to even strength. On that special team sequence, that was brought to you by Make Cannon Fasteners and Tools, your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs here in the province of Manitoba. Located in Winnipeg and in Brandon. Check them out today, as well as checking out their website at mccannonfasteners.shop. Chipped up by Neal, but turned over along the boards there. Canucks able to survive and stretched up to Hyde, who's trying to break away, but nice defensive stick on the way back from Evan Lambert, who might have saved a goal there, at least the opportunity to score for Romanek. Now Trot comes in down the other side, turned aside by that right pad of Murphy, number 31. Standing tall in the crease. Still for this Canucks squad, his 37th save of the game so far. Lambert tries spinning away from Hyde, chips it past him and continues along with it. Down low below the goal line. Behind the back reverses this to Keating as Keating makes Romanek drop his stick, as Romanek has to go retrieve it behind the goal line in the Riels end. It's Warfield trying to get possession of the spot. Brzezinski trying to drag it through. Delayed penalty coming up here as Warfield took a spill. Drawing a tripping penalty. Enerson has 2-3 Riels draped all over him as he finally runs out of room and sends that in deep. Finally touched up for this Riels squad, as their penalty kill goes back to work here coming up. So the ref's sorting out who took this one. It'll be number 17 in Shea Wodowich going to the box. So with that, another special team sequence here in this third brings on Make Cannon Fasteners and Tools. So it'll be number 21, McNaughton, for the Riels to take the draw against number 13 in Haidas. Yeah, rightfully so. This whistle being blown. The two wingers there in Warfield and I guess a defenseman in Kalen Reyes there as well. We're not set at all, as they finally are set off the draw in this one by the Canucks, as it's Jacob Phillips surveying options, goes to Romanek. Romanek cross to Neal, back up top to Phillips, back to Neal. Up top to Phillips this goes to Romanek, down low, side of the net to Height, but Height doesn't like his options, goes back to Romanek. Up top to Phillips it goes. A little triangle being set up high up here in the zone for this Canucks team as Phillips surveys, goes back to Romanek, side of the net for Height, into the low slot off of the backhand of Warfield there, but Warfield shields body nicely to get this puck back. Played across to Romanek along the boards, trying to control it, gets it up, loose to Phillips again, now across to Neal, back across to Romanek, up top to Phillips, that shot unable to get through though. So is blocked up well. To Neal again, that off of the face mask of Reyes, taking some time to recover for himself, and rightfully so. He shakes that one off. So my goodness, that doesn't seem like it would feel very good at all, as finally gets out for this Riels squad. With 38 seconds remaining, picked up by Carson Dubois, and all the way down this goes. As it's Jacob Phillips who plays this up the left boards, and picked up by Griffin Height with 22 seconds remaining on this man advantage for this Canucks team, trying to get something going some more here to end things off. They had some good work with the puck on this power play sequence for most of it. It's Rory Neal, backhand pass up top to Arneson, who tries to play it to the boards to protect it. Ends up back on the stick of Neal, who dangles in. Neal tries going short side, but just misses his target. So he went wide of the net. Arneson now tried to pass it across. This turned over and now played up. Shea Wardowich, his shot turned aside by the glove. Flashing the leather there is Connor Murphy, as Wojtowicz goes hard into the boards afterwards. The 40th shot of the night, Connor Murphy with another beauty, and where he's at to make plenty of saves like that. Not quite like that here this afternoon, but lots of high danger scoring chances coming his way. Can his efforts be enough in the defensive zone for this Canucks team to somehow come back in this game, as it's only one goal that separates these two sides. Played down low to Degagne, went off of his stick, however. Back along the boards to Degagne, now shields the puck well, gets this down low, back to Degagne at the side of the net, but doesn't go this time to him. Salamacha plays it across. Anderson through a screen, shooting but off target with that blast, as that, unfortunate for this Riels team, hitting a stick on the way through. Fortunately for them now, though, gets over to Reeves Sukit, who makes a nice move to the inside before passing this up to Van Dynes, who redirects this in deep to the Canucks zone. Degagne now being pinned along the boards there by a Riels player. Riels trying to scoop this loose puck out. They do just that now, shielding the puck along the blue line. Reeves Sukit, who decides to go off for a change now. Riels controlling down low, getting in on the forecheck pressure. Keating his shot high, but turned aside by that blocker of Murphy into the corner. Riels still control with it though. It's Cole Davis. Tries to maneuver to the middle. No penalty drawn on the play that time. That shot from Bert Schinger just whistles wide of the net as he unloaded from the slot. As played across this goes, trying to maneuver away was Evan Lambert, but couldn't, have the puck stripped. This in now, wide of the net it goes. And all the way to the point, as taking a bump there, number 12 in Tar Jansen. Cross, Lambert goes to Crossland, feeds a man at the blue line. There's Cole Davis, walks in, his shot wide of the net. As Murphy not tested that time. As we got Connor Murphy who covers things up. With 12:30 left in regulation here with a 2-1 St. Boniface Riels lead. Warfield now picks up this puck after a nice play in his defensive zone to cut off that pass that was going in front to Riel low slot, as that whistled down for the next face-off to come here inside of the Riel zone. 11:40 remaining, 41-12 the shots in favor of the home side in St. Boniface. As Carson Dubois taking the draw against Arneson, Canucks able to get possession of it, taking a bump down low, number 25 in Kugzek. Got the primary assist on the Rory Neal goal. This is Cockerell dangling to the outside. Now around the net, trying to get this pass up to the slot. Ends up to the point. Miller's shot blocked there by number 14 in Brady Thorstensen. Puck chipped out now by this Canucks team, sent right back in by the Riels though, going in on the attack. Phillips almost cut off, but got this across to Neal in time. Now snap back hard across to Phillips. As Phillips plays this into the skates of Brady Thorstensen. Turned over and sent back into the Canuck zone. Murphy to Neal to Arneson in the middle. Tries to dangle through off the boards this goes, but not quite out for this Canucks team. Neal now whips this across to Phillips. As DeGagne plays up into the zone, but will have this cut off. It's over top to Reeve Sukit now, but he'll have this stripped away. Sukit with a nice stick to cut it off though, as he gets it back, trying to maneuver his way in past DeGagne, but DeGagne gets a stick caught up in Sukit and has to get it back. Kind of disrupted him, but no call on the play. As Van Dyne's now pressuring on DeGagne, trying to force this turnover. Canucks get it back right away, moving it up quickly to McLean. McLean plays it across to Gagne, who tries to unload this for a shot, but Van Dyne's coming in on the back check, strips it away. Now stretch pass up. Oh, looking like he saw blood in the water there. Looking his chops for the hit, potentially was number 26 in Salamacha, but let up on it. As this skated by Dylan Bachnak now, just past the red line, sends this in deep. Enerson for the Canucks there to cut it off. Plays it off the boards, but turned over. Evan Lambert to the middle, tip just wide of the net from this Riels squad. As DeGagne along the boards, tries to chip it out, but can't, still tipped, and oh, maybe getting a piece of it there was Murphy. As heard the sound, some padding makes off of the save. That time for sure heard that sound all the way from down here as that goes off of his left pad, still controlled high up by the Riels. That shot through, but wide of the net. It's into the corner, up to the point again, back down low off of the stick of Lambert. It'll be the Canucks who get a handle on it and play this up to an outlet man, as it's, I believe, Salamacha out there who made a nice little move to the middle. Continued up with it, but had it taken away by a Riel upon entering the Riel zone. Now towards the net, that one wide of it again. But once again to the point as Evan Lambert tries to spin away but loses an edge, recovers somehow and gets this D-to-D quickly to Bachnak out of danger. This gets deflected into the Canucks bench and hit backup goaltender in Aiden Hofstad. But with that, 8:42 remaining. 2-1 the score in favor of the St. Boniface Riels team, continuing to press for more than a 1-goal lead here. And I think this is a huge key in the Riels. Their path to victory today is don't sit back like we've seen them do the opposite today, continuing to pressure this Canucks team and not playing like you're just trying to survive a 1-goal lead, looking to extend it, pushing for that more scoring, as their pace has been phenomenal on this Sunday afternoon. Kalen Reyes, this time he'll draw a penalty instead of taking one, as O'Sullivan heads to the bench. Didn't get there for the extra attacker in time, though, but this was touched up pretty early in that process by this Canucks team. And Enerson not too happy about the call at all, having some words for the refs on the way through. And with that, we bring Mid-Canton Fasteners onto the screen again. Your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. Sure to check out their store locations in Brandon and Winnipeg today. Is this possessed by the Riels? Delane is Keating, waiting for options, goes down low, and gets it back across to Kalen Reyes, who's at the opposite point. He gets it right back from down low. Reyes, his shot unloaded, oh no, almost trickles through. Murphy lost sight of it. It's a dangerous shot there from 44. But it's still the Riels who's searching for the third goal as this trickles out over the stick of Noah Keating, as the Riels still haven't been able to clear that defensive zone to come on in back again. Finally a chance to do so now as the zone all clear. Sent down low, cut off low by a Canucks player, but getting it right back to the point. This is played down low. Now up high, Brzezinski sends it towards the opposite corner. Now up high it goes to Kalen Reyes, who drags it to the middle, dragging everyone to him, setting this up for the Riels as they score! Will be number 18, assistant captain for the Riels, and Noah Keating, who's able to beat Connor Murphy with that shot. The pressure was mounting for this Riels team. Great puck movement, great puck work. They finally get rewarded. Just working that Canucks team on that power play sequence. That goal brought to you by Mid-Canton Fasteners and Tools. Working it side to side, from down low to up high. And Noah Keating getting into that perfect area to take a perfect shot past number 31 and Connor Murphy, as Romanek will have that snatched by the glove of O'Sullivan on the shot, with 6:43 remaining in this game as we change the scoreboard as well. Score that is, as it's 3-1 in favor of the St. Boniface Riels. Looking to improve to 3-0 on the season series, the head-to-head so far. 43-13, they also lead in the shots. And yeah, as talked about, it's been a lot of pressure from them in the Canucks defensive zone, really all three periods. But here, oh, maybe a bad break for the Riels. O'Sullivan somehow keeping this out. Romanek and Height not getting the puck to settle down well enough for them to do anything they wanted exactly with it. And for the Riels, if there's going to be any way where they end up blowing a lead here, it'd be if stuff like that continues to happen. Locking down the defensive zone, one of the keys we talked about in this game. They'll have to look to do that within these last 6 minutes, as the Canucks going to be pushing hard, playing with a lot of desperation here, trying to get back to 500 for the first time this year, as it's 8-9-2, and their record is Neal tangled up with number 77, and Bachnak has his stick around his neck, and oh, now we got a fight that may break out as Warfield has his helmet off. Connor Davis and him having some words for each other, as now Neal trying to swing there at Bachnet, who has his helmet off, and for the third straight mmjhl game day, as Neal whips that helmet of Bachnet into the boards closest to the Riels bench. it hasn't failed this weekend. It's just been the weekend of the fights in the third period especially. Like, we saw it in the Twins versus Victoria's game on Thursday night. We saw fights break out here on Friday night in the Riels loss against the Railer Express. And then we see, not full-out fights happening in this one, but about 3 almost breaking out there. St. James going to be losing their best player here for the next few minutes. We'll have to see if he gets any more due to him throwing that helmet. I mean, you're kind of just asking for more time in the box there if you're Rory Neal after doing that. Of course, his frustrations boiling over a bit after what was a altercation with a lot of fire surrounding it. As both players were giving each other shots and were tangled up. Once the stick is loose from out around Buckneck's neck, the two start kind of throwing punches, right? And Connor Davis will also be going to the box here. By the way, something that I want to clarify about Tazio Cianfloni of the Fort Garry Twins. It's actually funny. My sister's in school right now in X-ray tech, and there's people that are still coming back that need obviously certain school to continue with their careers, and it happens that the Twins trainer happens to be in her class in university, and she shared a picture of the X-ray of Cianfloni's leg, and yeah, it was a break that happened. I believe it was a broken tibia for Cianfloni. He was ripped away from over top of Connor Mitchell in that fight. He was over top of him, giving Connor Mitchell blows to the head with punches there. The linesman obviously just wanted to wrap up that fight and to settle things down, and in doing so, ripping him off. I guess Cianfloni's leg got caught underneath, and he didn't lose motor skills, as I claimed on the broadcast. That was a bit blown out of proportion. Just seemed that way. Well, when you have a broken tibia, I mean, you're going to look like you can't walk and like you're off balance. And yeah, just hoping that, for Tazio, he gets back to 100% soon here. Road of recovery. Not sure how that's going to be for him coming up. Hopefully it's a lot of positivity surrounding him, as, yeah, I can't even imagine breaking a tibia. But as in this game, of course, happy to say that there's just been fights that have broken out and no injuries from what we've seen. As it's the Riels who are on the power play here, brought to you by Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools, as this gets worked out of the zone for this Canucks team, trying to move their way up. A player bumped offside. No, actually, they don't call it an offside. It's continuing down with it as Thorsteinsson, but Thorsteinsson, Trent that is, couldn't get it in front to a teammate. Reeves Sukut now threads this across to McNaughton. He stops up, looks for options, sends it down low to Brzezinski, back to Sukut as Reeves Sukut gets it up to the point, back to McNaughton. McNaughton tries to send this down low, but not far enough, as this able to be possessed by the Canucks and cleared all the way out. Now picked up, Carson Dubois skating down the right side. He decides to shoot this rebound there, but a nice stick at the last moment from the Canucks to break up that chance. This is down below. Arneson trying to force a turnover, trying to take that away from O'Sullivan, but a bit too good. That pass off the boards to get it past the stick of number 9. 10 seconds remaining now on this power play chance. The sequence for the Riels. Played up to the point to Hepner, kicks it out. That towards the net, tip just wide off of the stick. Number 21, I believe, in McNaughton, as this gets sent all the way out of the Canucks zone and back into the Riels zone now. As a Riels player losing an edge there, Evan Lambert. Arneson was right there to take the puck away. So it's the Canucks, who control this for the time being, getting it towards the front of the net for Brady Thorsteinson, but that one a bit too far into his skates for him to do anything with it. Now trying to work up with it, Reeves Suka takes a bump along the board. Some physicality there from the St. James Junior Canucks. It's down low, this puck in the Canucks zone now. So this gets played out past Nick Miller. Gets this cross ice to Noah Keating. Gets it up top to Crossland. Had the second goal of this game. Currently stands as the game winner for this Riels squad. Able to squeeze his way up the boards past the check-in of the Canucks. Is that drawn offside this time? As Crossland took that puck away and brought it back in. With 2:40 remaining. The Riels still in this game, continuing to press even with the 2-goal lead. We'll get another face-off coming up here after that play was blown dead right away. Stretch across D to D as the Canucks win it. Sent in deep opposite corner. Trying to get to that puck. First forcing a turnover. They do onto Warfuel's stick. His pass can't go to the slot, however, as Murphy was creeping up. But decided not to go as the Riels were going to be coming down in on the rush. But the Canucks doing a good job of shutting this down as they get possession of the puck once again into the neutral zone. Trying to dangle in a player on the Canucks, sandwiched there by Brzezinski. As now that same player got sandwiched by Brzezinski and another Riel gonna go at him. I believe it's Trent Thorsteinson. Almost rips Brzezinski's helmet off. Sorry, that's Salamacha. Carson Salamacha, that is yeah, he didn't take too kindly to that from Brzezinski, and I believe, I'm not sure who else it was actually who came in to double team Salamacha there. But with that, with 2:06 remaining, Salamacha is going to be going to the penalty box. So we bring McCann, Fasters, and Tools back onto the screen. Stay tuned, by the way, for our post-game show presented by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia and McCann, Fasters, and Tools. As a penalty coming up here again to the Canucks. Side of the net or front of the net. The Riels couldn't put that one away. It gets played up to the point. A 6-on-4 here. Back up to Hepner. His blast hits a body on the way through. Still controlled by this Riels team. A 2-man advantage right now over top. Back to Hepner. Plays it towards the front of the net. And that finally touched up by the Canucks. And now here we go. Some more fighting about to happen. Throwing some punches in. Some uppercuts there. I believe it's at Connor Davis on Arneson. I believe it might be number 96. So it is the captain for this Riels team. A lot of fire from him this weekend, not backing down from anything. But also loving to chirp the bench on the way past, too. Second game in a row he's done this. Are we living in a simulation, I wonder sometimes, as that's exactly what kind of happened. Aside from the hit from behind, the cross-check from behind from Davis, yeah, aside of that, it's pretty much the same way his game ends. Except this time it seems like the Riels going to get out of this with a win. So we'll pull up the standings here quickly. Riels poised to move to 13-7. Looks like St. James will fall to 8-10-2 and remain in 7th place. The Riels, of course, looking to move their way up into the standings. So there's the rest of the schedule for this weekend of action as well. 2 games left to be played on the schedule here. As another week of action gets wrapped up, the first December games of the year being played here this afternoon. as both teams continue to get things sorted out. As still having conversations with the timekeeper at the penalty box in terms of what exactly is happening here. It's a 5-on-3 for the Riels nonetheless. It's Carson Dubois coming back towards his own bench. He's not sure what 19's gone on about, but he's back to square up against St. James Junior Canucks player in the face-off circle. It's actually going to be 5-minute penalty to Arneson. He's obviously sent out of this game at this point. So it'll be a 5-on-3 for the remainder of this game pretty much, unless the Riels are able to score quickly here. As this played across to Lambert, gets it to Bachnet, going to the side of the net with that pass for Dubois, but couldn't get it there. This turned over now. And all the way down, Enerson had the puck get past him though, as it's onto the stick of Lambert. Lambert kicks this out wide, now to the slot area, but being contested there well. The Canuck draped all over them was a Riels player. Passed across to Lambert as he tries to maneuver past number 16 in Trent Thorstensen. Goes to the opposite point to Bachnet, who has that kicked aside by Murphy. Bachnet now sending it towards the front of the net, but going past two Riels players as they couldn't get sticks on it. Back across the Bachnet now to Lambert. His blast, just turned aside. I think either off the post or maybe off that glove of Murphy. Now another one-time blast. This time Murphy getting across to make that save cleanly. His 43rd or 44th save of the night so far. As with under 30 seconds left, this gets cleared down. And as for the St. Boniface Riels, doing what they always seem to do, which is put up a whole bunch of shots and limit the other team with their amount of shots. As 45-14, the shot stand here. Not, there we go, one-timer to end off the game. I was just going to say, maybe not the most out of the offensive output as they'd like to see from those chances here tonight, but it will end off with their fourth goal of the game with 7.9 remaining on the clock, as it's number 18 in Noah Keating. Number 88 in Cole Davis, who puts this one home for his first of the afternoon, giving this Riels team a 4-1 lead over the St. James Junior Canucks on that goal, brought to you by Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools. For the Riels with this win tonight, they can now finally say, officially, as they still had the final 20 minutes of period to play here in this third to close out this one, but they can finally say that they come out of this weekend splitting their record 1-1, bouncing back big time after a 5-3 loss against the number one team in the league on Friday night here at Southdale Community Center in the Transcone Railer Express. They improved to 13-6 on the season, as mocking the Canucks they do on their way off, wooing over to them. And as you could probably guess, that next game, which will happen on January 10th between these two teams, is going to be extremely rough and physical. Those who like physicality, though, were treated to another show in this game, especially near the end of it. Something about the third periods recently, everybody. It's been mayhem at that, with how things have broken out. It's safe to say I don't think any team in this league really likes each other, and that was on display again in this game. The goal scorers for the Riels tonight: Cole Davis, Noah Keating, Jonah Crossland, and Avon Cockerell. Jonah Crossland opening up the scoring in this game. or no, Cockerell opened up the scoring, and Jonah Crossland ended up scoring the game-winning goal to make it 2-0. Rory Neal scored the lone goal for the Canucks today to cut into the lead 2-1 at the time. Final shots 46-14 in favor of the Riels. O'Sullivan earning his 7th win of the season, while Connor Murphy taking a look at his stats. Will now fall to 6-7-1 on the season, but he had a .909 save percentage coming into this one, and with that, we transition right into the players of the game. Starting off with the Canucks, to me, it goes to Connor Murphy, brought to you by Cannon Fasteners and Tools. Without him in this game, there were a lot of times, a lot of moments where the Riels looked like they were going to run away with it. If it weren't for him coming across to make big saves, keeping out rebounds in tight, he wasn't able to stop all of them as he let in 4 goals on the 46 shots. 42 saves tonight, or this afternoon, was the biggest bright spot, in my opinion, from a Canucks team who really had their opponent all over them in this afternoon's matchup. I thought Connor Murphy was a huge bright spot and stood out for them, was a difference maker in this game, even in a loss in the pipes for this Canucks squad. So that's Cannon Fasteners and Tools player of the game for the loser side. For the winner side, you know what? We're going to give it to a player that might have not had any points in this matchup today, as we're going to take a look back. Yeah, no points in this matchup today, but he made so many great plays in the defensive side of the game. Was big time, too, on getting back to stop an odd man rush chance, potentially for Romanek as he was trying to break away. Lambert played him with all stick there to take it away. And, yeah, it goes to Evan Lambert, number 2. So impressed with how not only he's able to defend, but also how he carries the puck with such confidence. He had some filthy dangles tonight, including a backhand toe drag that opened up some space for him in the offensive zone. And yeah, maybe going unrecognized in this game because he was so steady, but yeah, I'm not gonna forget about him. Evan Lambert was fantastic tonight, even if he wasn't, eye-popping on the screen with what he was doing. Just very sound, very confident in the zone, and doing all the little things right in the zone, and giving 110% on the back checks tonight. And rarely anyone gets past him, a sign of someone who was a strong defenseman and had another strong game here today. So he gets player of the game, brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Murphy gets player of the game for the St. James Junior Canucks. And yeah, for St. James, they had their opportunities in this game, but not quite enough to be happy about it, I think. A team that got walked all over for, some of this game at points of this game by this Riels squad. And this Riels team just played with a lot of pace that carried over through the whole 60 minutes. Lots of shots on net that wore down this Canucks team. And they end up coming away with a 4-1 victory. The Canucks thought maybe if they were able to survive just a bit better in their defensive zone, but once they gave up that third goal, it was tough. Thought that maybe the goaltending of Murphy would be enough for them to start getting some more chances going the other way, and for them to potentially get in on the Riels end of things to put things away, right, past O'Sullivan. But thought the Riels did a really great job of locking things down on their own end today, and didn't spend much time in it. And they moved to 13-6. As for the Riels, when they'll be back in action next, not until actually on Thursday, where they'll be on the road to take on the Stonewall Jets, 8 p.m. in Stonewall, the Veterans Memorial Complex. As for the Canucks, they'll be back in action on next Friday night, the 6th, against the Fort Garry Twins. Score updates from around the league from the other game, the only other game that's being played right now, or that was played. In the Transcon Railer Express up 5-3. They win to improve to 16-1-3 on the season, winning their 8th straight. As Stonewall, their 2-game winning streak coming to an end, they fall to 10-8-2. The Riels, their winning streak now to 1 as the Canucks now with a loss in the column to not extended to 2 straight wins. And yeah, they'll be back in action, of course, to take on the Fort Garry Twins next Friday night. This has been mmjhl Game Day, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this one, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future upcoming games coming up. Our next mmjhl Game Day broadcast will be Thursday night between the Vicks and Raiders Junior Hockey Club. 7:30 p.m. will be when the puck drops on G-Show Productions on Thursday. Can't wait to have you all here. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, and thank you to Midcanton Fasteners and Tools, Terrico, Can Central Sports Cards, and Memorabilia, as well as Goaltenders for sponsoring another edition of mmjhl Game Day. 4-1 the final in favor of the Riels in the game where they held the majority of the shots at 46-14 over the defending champs in the Canucks, and another game that ends up ending off chippy. And much more than that, pretty physical at the end with some fights breaking out. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, mmjhl fans, we'll see you on Thursday night for Vicks and Raiders. Riels improved to 13-7 on the season with a 4-1 win over the Canucks. Canucks fall to 8-10-2. Take care, everybody. See you next time.